Ok, salut tout le monde. Aujourd'hui, on reçoit Ceti, Dennis de Ceti, le CEO. Salut Dennis. How are you today, Dennis?
Bonjour. I'm doing great, thank you. How are you?
Really good. I'm really happy to have you here. A lot of people are waiting for this. Uh, can you tell
Yeah,
us a bit?
I'm excited to be here. Yeah,
Yes?
I know
Oh
like
yeah.
I've been excited to have like this opportunity to chat with you and like get in front of the French crypto Twitter community and talk about Ceti as well. So thank you for the chance to be here.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a big French community on Ceti. You are in Japan, right?
Yeah, I live in
Yeah.
Tokyo. I've been here for the last 15 years now, so it's late in the afternoon here in Japan.
Okay. So it might be a bit of delay between us, but that's okay. All good. Um, so can you introduce a bit yourself, what you were doing before Citi, and what are you actually doing in Citi?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have like a long career in tech that kind of predates, even Bitcoin. I'm a bit older, so I started working for Apple like a long time ago, back in '99, and I
Hmm.
worked for the iPhone team. I was part of the team that rolled out the iPhone 3GS to
Oh.
many markets around the world. It's part of the reason, well, it is the reason that I came to Japan
Hmm.
like 15 years ago. I was bringing the iPhone to market with SoftBank here, and they decided to ask me if I wanted to stay here, and I did. So I worked for Apple for a long time early in my career, around about
Hmm.
2010. I left, or end of 2010, I left Apple, and I was kind of into Bitcoin then as a hobbyist.
Hmm.
Just participating on the forums, and I think when Mt. Gox was up and running, not too long after that, I was an early trader on Gox. But I, I went to work for in mobile app development for a while at a
Hmm.
big Japanese company here called Rakuten. Actually, if you're in Europe and you're into football, you
Yeah,
probably know about Rakuten.
very famous. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yep. And then I did that for a couple of years, and then I worked for a blockchain startup for a couple of years in Tokyo before I ultimately moved over to Bitcoin.com. All this
Hmm.
while I had been a member of the early Bitcoin community here in Tokyo, and in 2018 I had the opportunity to go work for Bitcoin.com. I was their chief product officer for a couple of years. And after that, I became the CEO for several years, for like 4 years, before starting Ceti. And Ceti is the project, or Ceti AI is the company, and the project that I co-founded with a few other people. You may have seen
Hmm.
them in the Telegram or Discord or on Twitter. You got Tony and Austin and Logri the Bard, and just like Crystal as well. Just a number of really great people on the Ceti team. We wanted
Hmm.
to do something to make a difference, like in Web3 and AI in particular, because we recognized, all of us who were starting this venture, that like AI was going to be, the next huge, wave of opportunity, not only for Web3, but for everybody, and that there was like
Yeah.
a real need for the Web3 community to have access to the same types of compute, that enterprise grade compute that like companies like OpenAI or Microsoft or Amazon or, like Lambda Labs or CoreWeave or any of these other companies, had access to. So we made it our mission earlier this year in 2024 to build a company dedicated to giving, enterprise grade compute to Web3 projects.
Okay, and you all meet at Bittensor, right? You were very close to Bittensor, and you met on a Bittensor event, I think. You guys.
We we discussed, like, so we so like some of my co-founders and I have known each other for years, and
Hmm.
we've known each other through the crypto conference circuit, and we coincidentally all kind of converged at the very beginning of 2024, even like some of us at the end of 2023 on Bittensor, like through our own research, like we were looking at like the applications of blockchain and AI. We first became aware of Bittensor back then, independently of one another, and then like I think like we would just start talking to one another. We're like, I got the project that you might be interested in. Oh yeah, what's it called? A Bittensor. Well, no, man, let's go. Like I'm interested in that too. So just like prior to starting Ceti, like we were all talking about Bittensor and S19, and how is going to be a game changer in the blockchain AI space, and
Yeah,
obviously it's number one market cap AI blockchain project out there right now.
yeah, definitely. And yeah, a lot of people are comparing Ceti with I don't know, Akash or Yonet. It's really different. Can you explain what is Ceti, how it works, and how it is unique actually?
Yeah, definitely. So like typical DePIN broker, like Akash, for example, wants to give people who have compute, connect those people with people who need compute. And, they're going to broker that relationship through, now all of them, like, Akash, Spheron, Hyperbolic, you name the DePIN project, they have like their own special sauce, or like how they want to create a market or broker this relationship between the compute provider and the compute consumer. SETI is unique in the sense that like we are a compute provider and we do provide compute to DePIN brokers, but we also provide compute directly to blockchain projects. At the moment, like full on with the Morpheus blockchain project, as well as to conventional AI compute clients. And so DePIN projects, are looking to build a network and some intelligence in that network, or a marketplace with intelligence built in order to connect buyers and sellers of compute. And we're different in the sense that like we're a provider of compute, so we're happy to provide to those networks as part of our business model. But we also provide directly to the Web3 projects and even conventional projects that need compute and want a direct relationship with the compute provider to get it. And so we own a bunch of HGX H100 servers, 16 of them in our Vancouver facility. And, we are expanding that into like a number of different data centers in North America. We have access to like hundreds more servers that we're planning to deploy over the next year. So.
Okay, okay, awesome. Yeah, because you have a tax on the token to finance all this operation. I think you stopped InfraCell like 1 month ago or 2 weeks ago. Can you tell us what is going right now? How much H100 do you have in total? How much you are expecting? Just so we are all clear what's the state right now and for the next year, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So like, I think what you're like touching on is like this really like unique tokenomics model behind
Yeah.
the SETI project. It's developed, the team put it together largely like, Logri is the author of this, but, I think we all contributed to a certain extent, but Logri the Bard, our CTO and chief tokenomicist, he's developed this flywheel concept. He calls it the flywheel, where like a token tax on this is very important, a non-inflationary token, like go for the fixed supply, allows us to, capture some of the transaction volume that takes place in SETI, and then, convert that SETI into US dollar, for example, and then convert that US dollar into operating hardware that is deployed in a data center, and then convert that operating hardware into net revenue or profit. And so the net revenue or profit is then, returned to the token ecosystem. So the token tax has been an integral part of like how we collect revenue for the project and how we installed the first 16 HGX servers. That's 128 H100 cards, that are SNX, backplane linked and with InfiniBand network connection, like totally, top spec stuff in Vancouver. And then as we, light those up and start pointing them at DePIN projects like Spheron or Hyperbolic are the two that we're providing compute to right now, or directly to AI blockchain. We started doing some stuff with Bittensor, but we've kind of moved our attention for the moment anyways over to Morpheus. The revenue that we collect from those projects, will, after expenses be returned to, the token holder. And so at 16 servers, like we stopped converting that token tax into dollars because we have enough like to get the flywheel spinning, right? And to complete like, multiple iterations of this before we need to scaled thing, using the token. So yeah, we stopped converting token tax into USD a month ago, like November 15th, I think. And we're now focused on getting maximum net revenue from the project so that we can complete that flywheel circuit and return those profits to the token ecosystem. And so that's how the whole concept works. So the tax is sold, the dollar is converted to hardware, the hardware is lit up, the hardware produces money, the money goes back to the token holders. The price goes up, because people are getting yield from the token, or the price is going back up because we're doing buybacks of the token. That attracts more people to the ecosystem, and that's why we call it the flywheel.
Yeah, and you expect to have a good APY to incentive buyers, right? So it keeps moving, getting volume, etc. What's your target on the APY? Do you have a target, or is it too early to discuss this?
Yeah, it's a little bit early. We don't know yet, what our target is, but it's going to have to be. I think Logri has commented on this a number of times too in Discord. Yeah, it has to be significantly more than what you would be able to get from ETH plus stablecoin yield in a typical DeFi type of scenario. The whole point of this is that we are adding a real physical, real life component to it, like this enterprise grade compute, which should return substantial profit to the token holder. So at 16 servers, the idea is that we should be able to create an attractive yield to the current token ecosystem so that it grows, so we can have 200 servers and be scaling the profit at the same rate, so that we can maintain that attractive yield over time to token holders at a project that is that size. That's multiples of the size that it is right now.
Okay. And how much right now you have H100, and you talk about H200 maybe soon. What's your capacity right now? How much you have? I think it's 128. I'm not sure. And when do you expect to buy more? I think H200.
Yes. So all of these cards are contained within this platform called the HGX platform, or server platform. And this is Nvidia platform for OEMs, or for manufacturers. So the manufacturer that we have purchased or are working with right now is Supermicro. So an HGX is a big enterprise grade box, huge box, weighs 300 pounds. It has 8 H100 cards in it, or now they're coming with H200 cards in them. And they have just a super fast, backplane within the server that is called SNX. They're networked to one another with 400 gigabit per second InfiniBand connections. It's really next level compared to your own homebrew or home built PC mod, with H100 in it, for example, or PCI bus system with H100 in it. So each of these servers, or 16 of them, has 8 H100 cards. So we have 128 live right now. And then the next time that we order, which is going to be in early 2025, we're going to be ordering the H200s, the same server, the basic HGX platform, but with H200 cards instead of H100 cards. And the H200s are incrementally better in terms of speed and the VRAM capacity per card. And then eventually, we will move up to the B200s or the GB200s from Nvidia, as those become available in the market as well. So.
Okay. So you're following every update from Nvidia to be the most efficient, and I think H200 are worth it when you buy it and compare to the how efficient they are. How much percent more than H100 as they are efficient?
Yeah, so these things really become most cost effective when you're doing additional things. So I think of AI in terms of the types of jobs that you do with the hardware. There's model inference, which means you have existing model and you're basically running it, or serving it up, to end user consumers, and that's pretty much what we're doing right now. with Morpheus, for example, and the vast majority of the activity that takes place in Web3 right now is model inference. And they're faster. H200 is incrementally faster than H100. H100 is faster than the 4090, for example. There is definitely a sliding scale there in terms of performance. But then what the H100s and H200s on an HGX platform are really capable of is doing things like large model fine tuning or small model training that you need a number of servers. Dozens and dozens, if not hundreds of cards in order to do a cost-effective job of providing their services. And I think that this is the evolution of agentification of AI in this space. Everybody who has an agent project and is using like an open source model right now with some custom workflow attached to it, ultimately plans on fine-tuning these models or doing their own model training unique to the agent. And so at that point, they're going to need access to clusters of servers, high-performance servers with these cards, not just collections of individual cards, scattered all around the internet.
Okay, so what? I'm not sure you say it already, but how much H200 can we expect early 2025?
Well, we have the ability to order 1,600 H200 cards and like 200 servers. So it is a matter of operating the flywheel at that speed in order to generate, that level of, capital. So that's obviously a huge capital requirement. That's something like, I don't know, like $80 million, worth of equipment or something like that. So, we can order it as fast as we can spin this flywheel and generate the capital necessary to make these purchase orders.
So if you stopped already the infra sale, can we? Is that like a message you're kind of financially independent right now? It is going to get back, but for now, do you have enough money to buy all this?
Yeah, so it's like financially independent at this token price, at this market cap. Yes, right. So but we want to. The idea is then that the profits that we make from this, you go back to token holders, so that the token price goes up, so the market cap increases dramatically, and then we also have the money to install more capacity at that point. That's the whole flywheel concept.
Okay. So we talked about Nvidia. There were a big FUD, quite stupid, about your appointment on Nvidia. A lot of people said that you didn't wear an invite or whatever. So is it about what happened in Nvidia? Is it about getting an update about new machine, or what did you talk at HQ on Nvidia?
Yeah, I understand no, I understand that there was some FUD related to that visit, but it is kind of surprising to me that something as simple as a meeting, a day-long meeting at Nvidia can't be taken at face value. But yes, we posted some pictures or what. Anyway, the whole we have obviously supplier relationships in order to purchase the equipment that we have, right? So one of our relationships is directly with Nvidia. And so we have, because we operate the data center in Vancouver, where we have a Canadian entity there. This is the Canadian account executive for Nvidia, who deals directly with us. And he said, "Hey, why don't you guys come down, to Nvidia in Santa Clara for a day, and we'll walk through all the upcoming products and get you a chance to meet with the product leads from all these different divisions, field engineering or networking or you name it, right?" And we're like, "Cool, let's do it." So that was the point of the trip. It was definitely a sales-focused trip. We went there. We spent all morning from 8:30 until in the morning until 5:30 in the afternoon. A couple of the guys went out for drinks afterwards. I didn't. I was pretty beat. I had just flown in from Japan. But Supermicro came and visited as well, because they're the OEM involved in that relationship. I don't know what else to say about it other than it was a day-long meeting organized by our account executive in Canada with the specific purpose of introducing us, a startup. And Nvidia really wants to develop relationships with startups, by the way. Just as a tangent here, they, I think, recognize that they have like the choice of being, beholden to the hyperscalers, as their only customers,
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft, Amazon, Google, or developing like the next wave of like up and coming companies to ensure that there's a vibrant and diverse, demographic, to purchase their hardware. So like they're like Nvidia is very much focused on like
Yeah.
developing relationships, with startups like, Ceti. In fact, we are encouraged to apply to the Nvidia Cloud Partner program, and we are in the process of doing that as well. But anyway, they're very keen on like inviting startups, especially cloud providers and hardware-oriented startups, to come and hear all the latest and greatest, that Nvidia has to offer. It's not always about being
Yeah.
Amazon or Google, right? So
Yeah, that's a good move from Nvidia. Really, really nice. Do they really understand what you're doing and what you are giving the power to? Like, I don't know, Morpheus. Did they understand that?
yeah, so some do and some don't. Like so, like
Mm,
I would say that like our account executive definitely gets it, and so he's a really fantastic guy. And we want to spread the word about like what we're doing, in Web3 in particular. Most of the people that we talk with at Nvidia are so like specialized in their own specific domain of expertise. Like networking or field engineering or a chip manufacturer or something that they don't really like. They're not really like crypto pilled in that sense.
yeah.
They're like hardware guys. Like
Mm,
they're literally a chip manufacturer or a server manufacturer. So like we did get a chance, and I think this is very important for me as well, to talk about why Web3 is so important, for the future of AI. Like why decentralization is essential. And I think in this, at one level, everybody that we met understands that like it is better to have a diverse, ecosystem of developers and users and models and applications as opposed to just a few, that are
yeah.
organized or owned by big tech.
Mm,
But like really
definitely.
explaining how Web3 or blockchain plays a role in that, is a great opportunity to do that as well.
Okay. Okay. Let's finish with the FUD because all this start with Aaron leaving, you know. Um, so a lot of people just discuss a lot of FUD, creating FUD, but all this start with Aaron leaving. What really happened with Aaron? What was his role before he left? And yeah, how is it going?
Yeah. So like I would say like FUD, I think it falls into like two categories for me, right? Like there is like FUD in the sense that like, somebody wants to trade the token and wants to manipulate the price or
Mm,
drive the price down, right? So I mean,
yeah.
there's no countering like that kind of FUD. That
Mm,
is like a trader's strategy. More power to them. It's a free market. Go ahead and FUD away. I hope you get a good
mm,
price on the token if you want to buy. And then there's like people who are like legitimately concerned about like their long-term holders or considering being long-term holders and really want to know like what is the alpha here like that I need to know in order to be a successful investor or successful token holder. So I don't think like FUD will ever go away. In fact, like
yeah.
in the community, we're still talking about Aaron, sometimes too. But like I can say that like we didn't like Aaron was a fantastic guy for helping launch the project. Like, he was an integral part of bringing us all together. He wrote the token contract, deployed it,
Mm-hmm.
and he had, he was one of the first people to like install the hardware and all that kind of stuff. But, as is normal in the case of like newly formed companies, like we just had a parting of ways between the other three co-founders and or myself and the other two co-founders and Aaron, and it
Mm-hmm.
was a mutual decision to part ways. And I think that what it's there's nothing like so. Aaron is like a shareholder in Ceti, the corporation. Not that it's super important. It's mostly a Web3 project, but so he is still there as a shareholder. He's not in any official role or anything like that anymore with the company.
Mm-hmm.
I still we all wish Aaron the best with whatever project that he's working on. What can I answer specifically about this? That like, do you think that will help settle some concerns for people.
I think right now they just forget it. It's quite a further because of press action. Yeah, it's. I just want to address it. Just your point of view. But if you have nothing more to add, I think it's good. It just something happened. You part away. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, it happens in real life too, all the time, right? So
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And about BCII, the investment, I think it was 20 or 60 million, I forget. They didn't give anything, right? They just promised something and they didn't give. What's the situation and what's your investment on the future, maybe?
yeah, and BCII is a publicly traded company that wanted to invest in AI project and specifically in Ceti AI in order to I think raise their profile in public markets and participate in something that I think is pretty clearly like the narrative at the moment, and that possibly like one of the next big opportunities in tech and crypto investing. They have done this in the past, with other blockchain related projects, and the thesis there was that we would partner with them, to help them realize this benefit in terms of public market exposure to the AI narrative. And as they were able to benefit from that, they would invest in Ceti. And the was a milestone approach up to $60 million was the terms that we discussed. Unfortunately, they didn't really seem super motivated or capable of following through on that. So at the very beginning for a couple months, we were all about hey, what do you need from us to be successful? Put me, on podcasts and interviews, put me on a stage somewhere, put me on TV, put me on CNBC if you want. I'm happy to talk about AI all day long. And then, gave them all the investor materials that they would need to go out there and reach these milestone targets. Never materialized. I shouldn't say never. It hasn't materialized yet. But at some point, we realized that okay, well, this is an option in the future if these guys get serious about doing this. This is not something that we have to necessarily walk away from, but there are more important things for us to be spending our energy on at the moment in terms of finding other financing opportunities. And so that's what we decided to do. So BCII is this thing that, if these guys come around and they really want to move the needle, great. We have an existing framework in place, an agreement in place to work with them on that. Until then, we're not going to stop at just one thing that we can do to raise financing for the project. We're going to do multiple things. And so that's what we've been doing.
Okay. And right now, what are your investment and do you have debt? Do you have people coming for investment? What is the statute right now?
Yeah, so we are working on traditional finance investment, and we don't have any debt at the moment. So we pay for operating expenses from this point forward, since we stopped doing the sale of the token on November 15th. We pay for any operating expenses that we have from the operation of the hardware. We're debt free as a project. And it's all upside. As soon as we start to unlock the net revenue or profit, from these projects that we're providing compute to, there's no payments going to any debt or anything like that. And so we are open to raising debt in the future to scale the business. We are open to raising equity in the future to scale the business. But we are also completely self-sufficient on the flywheel tokenomics model. And I think that is proven to be so far anyway. It's a very reliable way to get to this level. And so now we demonstrate that we can return net revenue profits back to the token ecosystem, and we'll, I think, continue to demonstrate the success of the tokenomics of the flywheel model that we developed with Logri. So
yeah, definitely. And what project are you mining with this mining or fine-tuning? Just participating. I think you have Morpheus, Spheron. What else? Do you have some names?
Yeah, so we're live with those two, Morpheus,
Mm-hmm.
Spheron, and Hyperbolic, which is another DPIN
Yeah.
broker. And we have done we have been active in the past on Bittensor S19, Subnet 19. We're not active at the moment, and that is on the list of things to go back and take a look at. Bittensor Subnet 19 in particular has some weight copying problems right now that I think that they're working to get resolved and to make it a more fair
Mm-hmm.
and competitive place for compute providers. So as that happens, we're ready to step back into Bittensor. And then we have we're ready to mine on Aether. So we would love to light that up right now because we're working on like a arrangement to get the required token to do staking to be a compute provider on Aether, and that's a
Okay.
pretty substantial amount. So
Mm-hmm.
actually, it's kind of funny. Like the DeepIn projects, like in particular, like they have this interesting thing where, like, in order to make sure that compute providers have skin in the game to do it, and they do a good job
Mm-hmm.
providing compute, that they have put staking up that can get slashed if they're crappy,
Yeah.
compute provider. The
Mm-hmm.
staking requirements for Aether in particular, like, are, because of their token price at the moment, substantial to say the least. Like,
Oh,
it's like a
okay.
lot of token that we need. So we're looking at how to to get that going with Aether, and I'll contrast
Yeah.
that with like Morpheus, which also has a staking requirement.
Mm-hmm.
But the Morpheus team, like, who are fantastic, they have come together to delegate stake to Ceti, so that we can participate on their project. And
Awesome.
anybody's got a delegated staking method. That's
Hmm.
something that we'd be more interested in taking a longer look at. So
Okay. Okay, that's awesome. And I think Spheron is not live yet. They may airdrop, right? Yeah.
yeah, testnet. Spheron is testnet.
Yeah.
Hyperbolic is live, and they are still working on their payout mechanism, which should be finished very shortly.
Yeah.
Morpheus is live. So
Okay. And did Logris made mathematics and just know? It's hard because Spheron is not live, but how much dollars per card you can make with this? Because I think he start at 9 and then he goes down because it's getting down a bit. Yeah. How much did you expect per card?
yeah, I mean, so it's still quite a wide range at the moment, but
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely, and 9 is still in the range. Like, it's on the high side of the range, but
Okay.
like it's still possible. So I think realistically, like it's going to be, I say it's kind of hard to know at the
Mm-hmm.
moment until these guys get out of testnet. But like, I'm hopeful that $4 to $9 range per card hour is possible. But I would say that, like, the real special sauce here is the Ceti Intelligent Compute Fabric, and that, or the ICF, the Intelligent Cloud Fabric, that will allow us to, maximize the utilization of the cards across multiple different uses. And so that's how you get, like, you squeeze every last penny out of the card per hour price, and it's something that only is possible like if you are the owner and operator of the physical hardware itself, because you need like hardware device level access. You need
Mm-hmm.
bare metal access to the servers in order to be able to do something like this. But if you're able to take even like small amounts of like unused card utilization and put it to good economic use, that makes a big difference in terms of your earning potential in terms of revenue per card per hour.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very important. And about the ref share, when do you think this could happen, and how does it look like? Because you talk a bit about maybe you give more for some holders that have been very long holders. Yeah, did you discuss this, or is it just maybe for later?
Right. So it is something that I talked to Logri about, and Tony
Mm-hmm.
and Austin about, quite a bit. Uh, you know, we've talked about lots of options of like what we can do for long time holders of the token. We haven't settled on anything in particular yet, but yeah, we're aware that like a lot of people have been holding since the very beginning, and
Mm-hmm.
that at least the price action has been sideways or even down in the last month or so since then. So we want to do something. We haven't quite figured out exactly what to do there yet.
Okay. And do you think you're going to have a dashboard to follow everything you do? Because a lot of people are pessimist. It's crypto. It's always pessimist. Do you have a dashboard just to follow? What are you mining? What is the reward? Can we expect this?
Yeah, so this is like alpha opportunity for like early investors, right? Like today, you have to, you want to see what we're doing. Well, the easiest one is you go to the Sphere on public dashboard and see us operating there, right? Next up is like Hyperbolic. They don't even have a dashboard yet, so like everything is very manual for us to be working with them. So when they have a dashboard for us, then the next step will be to make a dashboard for everybody else. For Morpheus, you can set up a proxy router, and you can go and see the model inference that we're contributing to the network right there. So like if still early days for investors, if you're willing to get out there and like do this kind of work to get the alpha, you can see that we're out there providing on these networks. For us, like in terms of providing like a dashboard to the community in general, like generally what is going on, I think that the most useful information will be like what is the yield that you can get on the token, right? Or what are the buybacks that we're going to be doing on the token? That's the dashboard that everybody really wants to see. So
yeah, definitely. And you announced a white paper done by Logris, I think. When can we expect that?
I will check with it and we'll get that narrowed down. So.
Okay. So yeah,
there is a white paper.
Just to,
actually, I won't leave it only at that. Of course, we have the white paper available for download from our website, and we have Logri, who is at least once a week doing like a session on Discord, an audio session, where he takes questions from people on Discord. He's also active poster on Discord as well. Not so much on the Telegram side, but like in Discord. He's answering everybody's questions there all the time, in depth, very detailed answers. I do my best as well. So
okay. Just to summarize, what's the roadmap on 2025 look like? What do you expect this year?
So I think next year our goal is to scale the operation by order of magnitude or more, so that we have hundreds of servers operating by the end of 2025 in multiple data center locations. We have our Vancouver facility right now, but that is just the one that we started with. Like, we have sites that we're developing in Western Michigan, in Montreal, Quebec, and in East Coast of the U.S. We even have like a possible site that we could be developing in Singapore, although like we're kind of mostly focused on North America at the moment. And so the reason for that is that like once we have the ability to place the orders, for the servers, we have the capital to pay for them. We need somewhere for them to go as well. And this is like sort of like one of the things that people don't talk about as much. People talk about like, we have ordered some GPUs or something. That's like, great, that's cool. But when you get to the point where you need to order a lot of them, you need a place to put them, and there aren't a lot of places available. Like the biggest sites are all snapped up by hyperscalers, and that which leaves the rest of the market, looking for floor space in like tier 3 data centers, where you have, I don't know, 2 to 5 megawatts of excess power capacity. So it's just a lot of power, and there aren't many locations, but we've been developing on those locations all along the way, so we have a place to put these servers when the orders go in.
Okay.
So 2025 orders of at least an order of magnitude bigger than where we are right now, if not multiples on top of that as well. So
okay, awesome. I want to address an issue. I got pinged like every day about this. People struggle to swap Ceti to I don't know, Ethereum, because you pair the token with Wraptao, which is totally okay. Do you expect to make a LP with ETH, or you just want to keep it like this?
No, neither. There's a small pool for ETH right now. Like we just to keep people who are making small purchases from getting completely wrecked on a swap. So we did put like I don't know, it's like $100,000 of liquidity, or maybe a little bit less than that, in an ETH pool right now. But eventually, like we're going to migrate to stablecoin pairing for the token.
Oh,
And
okay.
I think that makes the most sense in terms of like, the ease of like, swapping. Much easier to swap from USDC to Ceti, for example, than from RapTau, because you got to go through ETH first if you want a good, you want the best slippage, that kind of thing. So, and it will give us the longest legs in terms of upward price movement when we make that switch, and we won't be tied to the volatility of like Tau, for example. But like, when are we going to do this? I think it would be like premature to do it now, to be quite honest, because I think that like we're just entering like the altcoin season, and I think like Tau is going to have a run. So like, why would we move off of Tau right before it runs? Because that run will also lift the Ceti price, as a side effect. So if we have Ceti going up because new token holders coming into the ecosystem, and also it's getting a boost because Tau is going up as well, I don't think that's something we want to mess with right now. But as we get further into altcoin season, or if things start to look like, if Tau starts to look like it's it's made its run, then our intent is to move to stablecoin pairing for Ceti. So
Okay, I understand. And do you expect? I'm not sure it's your concern, but just to ask, do you expect to put the token on a layer 2, maybe, or another chain?
yes, we can do that too. Like we've talked about all of this kind of stuff internally. It's funny you should mention that. Like people have asked for it. Like, can you have Ceti on Solana, and can you have Ceti on Base? For example. Ceti on Base probably a lot easier than Ceti on Solana, but yeah, we talk about all that all the time. And for us, it's just a matter of like, what is the most important thing to be doing right now or next? And if that moment comes where like it's like, hey, can you put like Ceti on Base or Arbitrum or something like that? And there's a really good reason to do it. Totally open to doing that. If people like, can you put it on Solana even? Like, have a really good reason to do that. Totally open to doing that. That one's a bit more work, but yeah.
Okay. Are you more ETH or Solana maxis the city time, or you don't? You just like both?
Yeah, my personal philosophy going back years and years now is what works for you is the one that we want to support. Like what works for the project as a whole, like what people want. I'm not in anything maxi. I think that there's a lot of utility in crypto in general, and Solana is obviously fantastic at certain things. So and ETH is as well. Like people love to like hate on ETH this year, but it still is the OG, right? And it's still like has like the vast majority of development going on it. So
yeah, for sure. And I think you got a lot of questions about sex listing. I got also people ask me. There is a struggle because of the tax, but I always say that anyway, DEX are moving. They are more used than sex. They have more market share than before. I think this question is not that important, but just to address this, do you have contact with sex listing? Do you expect some, or just on DEX?
Yeah, so these brokers like reach out all the time, like people who are like, I guess maybe even not brokers, but like sales channel, partners for CEX listings. For us, like, first of all, CEX would have to support a taxable token, so that there are some that do that, but it's not everyone. And then like, they would have to have like a decent amount of trade volume, like a decent number of users, for it to be worth our while to do it. And then they would have to not like, charge a lot of money. They would have to be financially interested in it because of the trading fees for the most part, not because like we're paying like some exorbitant fee just to get a listing. So If we find a relationship that meets all three of those criteria, they support a token tax, they're interested in long-term, revenue from trading fees, and they actually have users. Yeah, like that, we would do that. So
Okay, okay, I understand. And about DAIS, I don't know how to say it in English. Decentralized AI Society. Yeah, can you tell us a bit more about the actors and what's the goal of these aliens?
yeah, so this is a group. In English, the word is like DAIS, and this is like the raised platform, used by in Greek theater, for example, or maybe it's
Mm-hmm.
Roman politics. I can't remember which one, but a raised stone stage, from which you address the entire audience or whatever.
Okay.
So there are two co-founders of this, Michael Casey and James Haft, who are both longtime industry veterans, crypto industry veterans. James is a strategic advisor to the Ceti project.
Mm-hmm.
Michael is like, he's a journalist, a crypto journalist that goes, way back to start of Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
Founding members, so like include like Morpheus, for example, Filecoin, a bunch of like infrastructure, projects, and some up and coming and emerging agentification projects as well. And so the purpose of DAIS is to have like an industry group where people who are looking to build or create the future that they want to see in terms of decentralized artificial intelligence are able to come together and
Mm-hmm.
collaborate and develop relationships and share ideas, and you work together to make that future happen. And in fact, it's the reason that we have such a close relationship with Morpheus, for example. We're like,
Mm-hmm.
Morpheus team members are like delegating Morpheus token to us, right? So that we can participate as a compute provider. And like we're like literally like pair programming, with their developers in order to be the first compute provider on their platform. So these are people who are deeply red pilled in terms of like decentralization when it comes to AI. And they are also among the brightest minds in the space in terms of the technology and the ability to execute. So the purpose
Mm-hmm.
is, to create the future that we want to see, and so that's why we're proud to be a founding member of the Decentralized AI Society.
Awesome. Okay. And yeah, you have a big French community. Do you think we could expect you to be there on an event in France?
Yeah, I can come to Paris Blockchain Week or something like that, or maybe there's even more appropriate event. I don't know. I went to Paris Blockchain one time. It was pretty
Mm-hmm.
cool. I don't
Okay,
speak French, unfortunately, but
that's okay. No problem. Yeah, I think yeah, I said all the question I have. Do you have a topics you want to mention, or yeah, I don't know, something I didn't mention already?
no, I think that we covered a lot of the hot stuff that is
Yeah.
going on in Twitter, Discord, and Telegram right now.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, anybody in the community can always like reach out to me in these in Telegram. Just at me in the main group. Same thing in Discord, and I do my best to reply to everybody. Or reply to me on X as well.
Mm-hmm.
My whole mission is to tell the story to as many people as possible, to separate like the fudders, who are traders and want to
Yeah.
trade the token, from the people who have legitimate questions and looking for alpha for being long-term holders, and really
Mm-hmm.
help those people out. That's my whole purpose here is to share the story about what we're doing and get
Mm-hmm.
everybody excited about the DAI future that we're building together.
Okay. I just have two questions. Just one, I think it's a hard question, but if you had to summarize what Ceti is, like Bitcoin is digital gold, or if Web3 money, what would just in one phrase, just very, yeah, very short. How do
Ceti
you?
AI is
Yeah.
the picks and shovels of the AI revolution. We're
Yeah.
the
Okay.
infrastructure provider. We're not here to pick the
Mm-mm.
winners in this space, but we're here to provide compute to all of them.
I think that's perfect. Yeah. And yeah, we ask every invitee to say what would be your advice for a young investor in crypto, or just someone that want to be part of the adventure. I don't know.
Yeah, so you can take two paths. I think one is you can choose like a bunch of research ahead of time before you make your big investment and find the project that you think is going to win, or the group of projects that you think are going to win. Especially in the AI space, there's so many to choose from. Or you can just get into projects first and then do your research later. That's typically how I've
Yeah,
invested in the past. I like jump in with both feet and then do research after the fact. But
later.
at some point, before or after, like you're really going to want to educate yourself on like what's going on, and this is essential because it helps you separate. Like I think, well, how do I want to say this? Like it helps you separate the people who are here building real things from the people who are running a grift. And so you
Yeah.
got both. And it doesn't mean that people who are building real things are always going to be successful, or that you're not going to make money by giving by investing in a token by a grifter. Like both can happen, but like the most likely outcome is that like your long-term success is going to be from people who are building things. And you're more likely than not to lose money on somebody who's doing a pump and dump scam on you. So you got to educate yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, that's perfect to close the interview. Thanks a lot, Dennis. I really appreciate. And yeah,
Yeah. Thanks,
maybe
Joestar.
another day. Thanks.
Thanks, friend
See you.
CT. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Thanks.